Hello everybody, it is Asia here, and today I will be talking about the Austin rap contest because I asked on Twitter if I should make an experience video and everybody said yes, so here we are. Okay, pre-heads up, oopsies, fix the camera. I'm going to fast forward my voice a little bit, or the video a little bit, just like make it,
not fast forward, but like make it go faster, so my voice is gonna be really weird. That's not my normal voice.
This is my normal voice, but it's gonna be it would have been a long video if I didn't fast forward, or make it faster. So it's just a little faster, and yeah.
So on May 12th, 2015, Austin posted a tweet saying, I need a new wrap for my car, post your entries on Twitter, hashtag Austin Rap Design, right? Yeah, I think I saw that. When I saw that, I immediately knew I should try it, you know? What do I have to lose? My AP score, that's what I had to lose. Because I actually did the design instead of studying for my AP test. And yeah, so shh. But I guess I'll just start with my design. And when I first started, I thought I was gonna like this design, so I just put it on this little corner. And I was like, I guess that'll look okay. And I'm like, maybe it'll fade into black at the end. And so yeah, that's from this to this to this, all the way to this. So yeah, that was the actual design part. And then when on my last day of school, actually June 8th, Austin DM'd me, and I'll put a picture of the DM up there. Name, number, and your age. So I was like freaking out. I was at my friend's house. We were having a pool party for the last day of school, and I literally just broke down. My friends were like, "What is wrong?" And I threw them my phone, and I was like, "Look what happened." Like, I told them not to say anything, by the way, but I couldn't. I was with people already, and I was like freaking out, and they had to know. So yeah, that's what happened at the party. And yeah, I wasn't like, I knew that was Austin's account, obviously, but my parents like didn't really know like what Twitter was and stuff. So I texted my family group message like, "Hey, I won that contest." And they're like, "Oh, what do you win?" I'm like, "Oh, he flies me down to Miami and all this stuff." And my parents are like, "You're kidding, right?" And I was like, "No, I'm not kidding." And me and my brother, because my brother's obviously, he's older and he knows what Twitter is, and he's like, "That's his legit account." Like, my parents are kind of skeptical about it because they're like, "Oh my gosh, you just gave your number out and all this stuff." And I'm like, I wouldn't give my number out to, like, you know, obviously it is Austin. So yeah, that's what happened when I first found out. Ustream, and then he was like, he was talking about it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this." He's like, "Oh, the blue and black would look so cool together." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" But I figured out those were the wheels, but I didn't know about the wheels. So yeah. And then that Saturday he posted, "I've decided my rap winner," and I was like, "That's me." But yeah. So that was like the whole beginning process. And then I kind of was like getting kind of sad because like I didn't hear anything back. Like, I didn't hear anything about the whole thing. Like, I didn't get any text messages or phone calls or anything like that for like 4 days. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this is like fake. Like, maybe I just gave my phone number out and all this stuff. But I was outside balling it up, coinking. I ran inside to get a drink of water, and I checked my phone, and I had this text message from this random guy. I didn't know the number or anything. And he's like, "Oh, hey, it's Dan. I work with Austin Mahone, and I need your signature for the car app." And I literally just was like, this is actually real, like, this is actually happening. So, after many practices, as you can see, I practiced a lot. So I was like, I have to get this perfect, this is gonna be on a car. So I was like, no, yes. I messed up the G there, but look, there it is. So that's the signature that's on the back of his car, and I sent that to him, and I was like, I texted him, like, do I seriously get to go down, like, do I get flown down to Miami and stuff? And he's like, I'm pretty sure, let me just check with Austin, I'll get back with you in the morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like freaking out, hyperventilating, like, you have no idea. So the next morning, it's Sunday now, and I got a phone call, and the phone call said, or was it Saturday? Sunday or Saturday. But the phone call said, it's another guy named Dan. I think it was the same guy. I'm not really sure, because it was a different number. But he's like, we need your name, and like, how old are you if you're old enough to fly alone? And I'm like, I'm 16. So he's like, well, I'm 17 now. But he's like, all right, you can bring an adult. So I brought my mom. and I gave him like our information for the flights and stuff. And he said, well, we'll fly you down. We're gonna get you in the earliest flight down and then the latest flight out. So he emailed me the flight information. Our flight was at 6 in the morning, so we had to leave at 3 from my house, 3 a.m. from my house, and then we would go from Milwaukee to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale. But then our home flight coming home was, I think at like 6:45. My ticket's over there, but I don't feel like getting up. But yeah, so that was like one of the latest flights out, and yeah. So the rest of the week, I was kind of just like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. I'm getting flown down to Florida for a day to meet a celebrity and hang out with him. Not only a celebrity, but like my idol. Like, oh my gosh, it just blows my mind because I've loved him for like 2.5 years now. I actually found him on Instagram when I was on spring break. Cute, and then I looked up his music, and I kind of fell in love with him, and that's where it started. But that's too much information right now. But so on the Wednesday, the day I left, which was June 17th, 2015, I woke up at like 2:30, 3-ish, and in the morning, by the way, and I was like, oh my gosh, prepare myself. So I got my stuff ready, which is like a bag, and then I brought extra clothes for the flight home, and then I brought like stuff for him to sign and all that kind of jazz. And then we brought like refreshing stuff so I can like get ready before he comes pick us up at the airport. So yeah, that's what happened. So we drove to the airport, and my dad dropped us off, and we got our boarding passes, and we went to our flight, which is pretty easy because we had no luggage because all we had was like 2 purses. So that was nice to get on the flight and just be like, we don't have to put anything in like the overhead bins or anything. We just have to sit down and enjoy ourselves. And no, he didn't get me first class, sadly. But that's okay. So we got to Atlanta around like, I don't know, 9-ish. And then we got to Fort Lauderdale at like 11:45-ish. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. We landed, and I immediately turned on my phone, and we were like not running. We first went to the bathroom, and I had like my hair up like this, little ponytail, and I wanted to redo it. So I took the little ponytail out, and lo and behold, it breaks in my hand, and I had nothing else. So I was like, shoot, I gotta go find something else to put my hair up, because it was like, I'm not leaving my hair down. So I went to the little store, and I was like looking around, and then I checked my phone really quick, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a missed call from this random number that I have no idea. So I called back, and then when the person answered, he's like, oh, Asia, this is Austin, and immediately then I almost fainted. Like, he said my name. He knows. Oh my gosh, I almost died. But he's like, hey, it's Austin, and I'm like, oh, why'd you call? And he's like, I couldn't find my keys. We'll be at the airport in like 25 minutes. Just take your time, relax for a little bit. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. All right, that's cool. I'm good. I don't care about my hair anymore. I don't need that. I ran back to the bathroom where my mom was. And I was like, Mom, he just called me. And she's like, did you find anything for your hair? And I was like, no. Yeah, that's what happened. So I just left my hair down for the rest of the day, if you didn't realize. And then I got a text saying, from Austin, just being like, oh, hey, like, it's basically explaining what he said in the phone call. And I was like, oh, where should we meet you? And like, what terminal and stuff? He's like, this terminal, I don't really know if I should say it. It doesn't really matter. Terminal 3, between United and American. So me and my mom had to walk outside to go to that terminal. I was kind of, my mom was like, why can't he just come to us? And I'm like, Mom, he's Austin. We go to him. So we watched that terminal. We waited for like 20 minutes, I guess. And by then I was like all freshened up. I put perfume on. We did my makeup and all that stuff. All good. So he said, I don't remember what he said. But he's like, 5 to 10 more minutes, we'll be there. And I was like, okay. And then he called me like when they got there, and we were standing outside, and he's like, are you outside? I'm like, yeah, we're outside. He's like, where are you? And I'm like, oh, I was just standing by the bench. And I'm like, I'm in a blue dress. And then set up literally the car in front of me. He just opened the door, and he's like, are you Asia? And I was like, yeah, yes I am. I didn't really say it like that, but I kind of just nodded. And then him and Eric came out of the car. Eric had his cool camera and stuff. And Austin was like, hello, and all that intro stuff. I'll show that, it was in the video. And I was kind of just shaken up. I'm honestly really surprised I didn't cry, because I cried at both of his concerts I've been to. I cried when I got surprised to go to his concert, and then when he's standing in front of me, I don't cry. I think it's because I was just like in such shock that like this is actually happening that I didn't cry. But yeah, it's all good now. So yeah, that happened. Then we got in this white little car. It was Alex's car. It's a nice car. And Zach was driving, and I was like, hey, Zach. And he's like, oh, hey. Shout out to Zach. And then after that, we took off, and he's like, we're going to go straight to the car wrap place, which is like half an hour away. So it was kind of an awkward car ride, because Eric was pointing the camera at me, and I'm like, I've never done this before. And he's just like telling me to do stuff, and like he's like, be prepared for some awkward interviews today. And I was like, oh gosh. So yeah, the camera on my face all day was kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I can do that ever again. But yeah, in the car, Austin played Dirty Work, and then, as I said on my Instagram, Zach kept making fun of Alex's speakers. And I'm like, oh, where's Alex and Rob? And he's like, oh, they're at the house. And then Austin got on the phone with somebody, so it was kind of just like listening to music for like 20 minutes. And we got to the car wrap place, which is very nice. And walk in, and we're like, oh, we need to see Bruno for the car wrap. And the lady's like, all right, we'll bring him out in like 5 minutes. So we kind of just sat in the waiting room. There's some cute dogs, and that's when Eric took all those cool videos, I guess, of the office and stuff. Again, I'm really awkward. Like, if you look at the videos, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. I just didn't know what to say. I'm like, when I was at home, I was like, I'm going to talk to him about this. I'm going to ask him about this. I'm going to do this. Didn't do any of them, because I was just, yeah, no. So I didn't really talk that much at the beginning. And that was the time I should have talked, because it was just so awkward. But it was good that Zach was there, so it's like, they were talking, and then I kind of just like chime into their conversation. So, yeah. And then Bruno came out. He was really nice, and he's like, are you ready to see what you made? And I was like, I guess. I had no idea what it was going to look like. I wasn't sure if they made these triangles like big, small, or like they changed the colors, or, because I was still confused about the blue and black, the thing Austin said on the Ustream. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, what if he just like DM'd the wrong person, and like this isn't even my design on his car? And I was honestly just freaking out for like 10 minutes in my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really stressful. So we walked across the street to the actual garage, and we walked into the garage, and the car is under this huge black tarp thing, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is official. There's like a velvet rope and all this stuff. And Bruno's like, are you guys ready? And we took a picture before. That was like our first picture of the day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm touching you. That's creepy, I'm sorry. But then, as you can see in the video, Austin takes the huge wrap thing off, or the tarp thing off, and I was honestly floored with what it looked like. Like, on here, you can tell it's like marker, but like on the car, you can just, it was like so cool how different it looked. Like, it looks the same obviously, but like the texture, it just looks so nice, and I'm in love with it. Like, it's crazy colored, and he obviously stands out in public, but it was so weird to see what I put on paper just on a car. And nonetheless, my name is on the back of this car, which is crazy to me, because people will be like, oh, what's that little writing on the back side of this car? My name! Ah! Like, that's weird to me, but also amazing. Okay, anyways. So yeah, we took a lot of pictures in the car. And this is the part where Eric asked all the questions. There was one time, he's like, before we took the tarp off, he's like, so what was your design thoughts for the car? And I just, honestly, I looked straight in the camera, and I said, I don't know. And he just kind of smiled, and he was like, okay, I feel terrible, because now I know what to say. Eric, I know what to say to that question now. My thought design was he needed colors, and it needed to be, like, abstractly cool, you know? So it kind of like, because the last one was black and white, I'm like, gotta bring out some pop to it. And, I don't know, it's a lot simpler than his last one. See, I can answer that question now, Eric. I can answer that question, so I apologize for not answering that question. But, yeah, then he asked me some other questions. You can see in the video, like, the video he posted, like, there's that really awkward long thing that I do. I'm just like, yeah, and then I, like, talk a little more, and I'm like, I don't really know what else to say. So that's really awkward. I'm not good in front of a camera. Okay, I'm good in front of this camera because it's just me in my room, but, Eric's camera was really intimidating. So, yeah, that happened. And then we're gonna do a little bit acting. Sorry, I'm kind of telling everybody Eric, but Austin was like, are you hungry? I'm like, yes! And that was my great acting for the day. And he, like, opened the car door. And we got in the car, and he, like, drove out of the garage, and then Eric took some cool video of him, like, driving away, and we had to, like, keep driving, like, forward and back. And, oh my gosh, his car is so nice. The leather seats, prime. And, Range Rovers are literally, I could marry a Range Rover. I would, because I love those cars. And I told him that. I'm like, I love your car. And he's like, thanks. Zach took Alex's car back to their house to get his car because he hates Alex's car. So it was just me, my mom, Austin, and Eric in the car. My mom and Eric were in the backseat, and then I was in the shotgun, and Austin was driving, obviously. And we drove to Olive Garden, which was by their house, which is like half an hour again. So all the way there, we had no time to talk because we were jamming to his new album, which is pretty amazing. That's like all we listened to. It was kind of sad though, because I wanted to make a Snapchat of like us jamming to like Sam Smith or something. But it was just his new music all the way on the car ride, so I didn't really get to record anything. But yeah. I did take that cool selfie at a stoplight when it was silent in the car. But yeah, he showed me some really nice music, and you guys are going to love the album. You have no doubt about it. It's just amazing. Then we got to Olive Garden, and this really funny story. My mom is really short, and the car is really big, so she is on the driver's side, so she opened the door, and she'd like jump out of the car, and she kind of fell, and Austin's like kind of laughing, and he's like, are you okay? And my mom's like, I'm fine. I think it's hilarious, but whatever you think. Okay, and then we went into Olive Garden, and there we obviously ate food, and there wasn't a lot of people there, but I'm like just surprised how people don't notice him. Like there's teenage girls there, they didn't like realize it was him, or maybe they're used to it because he lives there, maybe, I don't know, but it's just weird. I was like expecting people to like come up, but it's whatever. It was actually kind of nice. And that's where we met Joe and Mike Cassidy, not Blum, his bodyguards. And they were really nice. They kind of sat at their own table, and we all ate our own foods. And that's when I got really comfortable with him. And so we talked a lot, and I gave him his gifts, which is like the Economock shirt and Economock hat and bag and chocolates. And Zach wears the hat and the shirt and I asked him about the chocolates, and he's like, they're delicious. So I guess he stole all the presents. That's whatever though. So yeah, we talked a lot. I got to ask my questions and all that stuff, everything that I was like thinking of doing, I kind of did. I did want to sing with him, but there was honestly no time. And I wanted to ball with him and kick his butt, but again, no time. But next time, Austin, next time. So we ate lunch, and if you want to know what he had a 5-cheese ZT al forno, or it's something like that. It's like a 5-cheese something. I got a fettuccine alfredo because I was like, I'm not eating spaghetti. No way, Jose. Oh, funny story. I was shoving salad in my mouth because it like, you know, when you get a big piece of lettuce and you like, it won't fit in your mouth, so you kind of have to like, I like did that, and then at that moment, Austin turns to the side to ask me a question, and I was like, and I pointed to my mom, I'm like, ask my mom the question. And that was like my embarrassing moment of the day. Yeah, I was kind of laughing, but nobody else was laughing, and I was like, okay. So after the wonderful lunch, we drove to a movie theater, and again we listened to, it was still me, Austin, my mom, and Eric in the car, but and then Mike and Joe I think had their own car and stuff, and Zach had his car. But it was really funny because when we were driving on the highway, Zach was like not looking because he was trying to he's like driving in front of us, and he like stuck his phone out of the car, out of the window to like get a picture of his car like on the highway, and he almost crashed. Like it was funny but awful at the same time. Another funny thing, Austin was literally on his phone all the time. Like, I'm not saying it's like disrespectful or anything like that, but he's on his phone all the time. Like, yeah, okay, yeah. Another thing is, I was gonna say another thing. Something really cute is like he prayed before lunch, which was, I'm Catholic, and so when he did the sign of the cross, I was like, oh my gosh, I almost died. My mom was like really touched too, because like she's really Catholic, so yeah, that was nice. Anyways, back to the movies. He's like, are you okay with watching Spy? And I was like, yeah, it looks pretty good. And he's like, yeah, but I heard terrible reviews. And I'm like, I don't know, we'll see when we get there. So we went in, it was again us 6, the 4 in the car. Us 7. Zach plus Joe plus Mike. So we all went in the movie, and again, nobody noticed him, which was so surprising to me. But it was really funny though, because there's this, I'm really sad Eric didn't put this in the video, but there's a huge Magic Mike post, like cardboard cutout on the side, and he's like, are you excited to see Magic Mike 2? And I was like, I don't really know, I really want to see it, but I don't really know because of like that person. And I was like pointing to my mom, I'm like, I don't know if she'll let me watch it, and because I obviously haven't seen the first one, so I'm not going to see the second one. And he's like, but the first one was so good and all this stuff, and I'm like, you watched it? And he's like, yeah, it's a good movie. And I was like, okay. So yeah, and he's like, Dirty Work was supposed to be in Magic Mike 2, but it wasn't. And I'm like, that's actually really cool, but sad at the same time. I know Eric got that part on camera, but he didn't put it in there. That's okay. But we went into the movies, and we literally took up a whole row. And the movie was really, really good. Honestly, like, I've heard it was awful, but it was really good. And I don't really know what else to say about it. Austin smelled really good. I sat next to him in the movie, and I was just like, oh, you smell so good. That's really creepy, but honestly, you cannot, like, not whiff him. That sounds also really creepy. But he just smelled really good. Again, he was on his phone. But that's okay. Then after the movie, when we walked out, he's like, oh my gosh, you guys, he's like, I was checking, and there was, like, traffic, especially because it's rush hour. So he's like, you guys have to go to get to your flight. And I'm like, no! But yeah, so then Austin did his, like, ending thing on Eric's camera, and I was like, oh my gosh, you need to sign this before I leave, because I almost forgot, and there was no way he could not sign any of the things I brought him. So I took my white phone case, and he signed that, which is pretty cool. And then I took my old shirt of his, and he signed that too. He kind of laughed. I'm like, look at how little you are, and he's like, yeah. So that was kind of funny. And we said our goodbyes, and he's like, Mike, we'll take you back to the airport. I don't know whose car he had. I think it was Alex's car again. But yeah, so I said goodbye to him, and I'm like, Zach, I never got a picture with you. So I got a picture with Zach, and then I gave a hug to all of them, including Eric. And yeah, and then it was actually really sad to say goodbye. Like, and then it was like honestly like an hour and a half drive to the airport, and by then on my phone was blowing up because he tweeted and then he Instagrammed it, and everything was blowing up. I had my notifications were on. I regret that because literally my followers on both just flew up, and my not only my followers, my like mentions and DMs and all this stuff. And I was like, I told Mike, I'm like, so this is what it's like to be famous. And he's like, yeah, kind of. And it was a lot. So I turned my notifications off because like, I can't deal with this right now. And then I found out he retweeted my tweet, which is kind of cool. And yeah, because I've like never interacted with him on Twitter besides the fact that he followed me. So it's cool to see him retweet that. Retweet that. To retweet that. Then we got to the airport. Mike was really nice. We had a nice conversation in the car, talking about like all the concerts, how he liked Wisconsin, how he didn't like Wisconsin because it was too cold. But I told him, I'm like, you got to make sure Austin comes back to Wisconsin because we love him here. And yeah, so hopefully they will come back to Wisconsin. And that was kind of the end of the day. We went to the airport, chilled for a little bit, went to Atlanta, and then back to Wisconsin. Got home at like midnight, absolutely last flight into the Milwaukee airport. Through like Delta and the Milwaukee airport. There's nobody there. So Dan wasn't lying when he said we would get the last flight out. I don't really know what else to say now. Yeah, and then at the Atlanta airport, I texted him and I was like, hey, thanks for being so cool today. Thanks for being amazing. I really hope you like the new car. And I'm like, can you send me those pictures that you posted on Instagram because I don't have those. And he's like, sure. And he's like, you're welcome. And he's like, the guys love the car wrap too. And he sent me the pictures. And by then, I should have responded. I regret this to this day. I should have been like, I'm glad or something. I don't know, some closure, but I didn't respond. And I feel stupid about it. But that's okay. So yeah, that's where we are today. My personal turned into my fan account, and then I just made a new personal on Twitter because I like interacting with my homies. So that was kind of fun. And a couple days later, we ordered a big poster. We're just waiting for a frame. So there's that one. We're really cute. And then ordered this bigger poster. It's like a collage. Yep. I really like this picture. It's like we're walking, and then selfie, and then we're hugging, and then another selfie. And hold on. Oh, stay right here. And then I also ordered a phone case. I'm only gonna use it for special occasions because it's like really thin, and I drop my phone a lot, so wanted some good protection. But good protection. Okay. But that's kind of where we are now, and that's kind of where the day ends. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I'll put a reaction video to that video that I'm in because I have a lot of reactions. The first time I saw that, I was in San Francisco in a restaurant, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. But yeah, I'll put one up to that, or I'll make one of those. So yeah, thanks for watching, and love you all. I don't know how to end it.